Are we?
Doing great.
Okay, good. Okay, good evening, everyone. I would like to call our special board meeting to order at 6 o'clock. I am located in the Village Chambers, 2350 South 25th Avenue. The trustees are at remote location. We are streaming live and virtual through Zoom. The village attorney is on the line as well as our village clerk. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham. Trustee Abraham is currently absent. Trustee Senior.
Here.
Trustee Chamalave.
Here.
Trustee Shelby.
Here.
Trustee Armour. Trustee Armour is currently absent. Trustee Miller.
Here.
And Madam President, we do have a quorum. Can we all stand or be seated to acknowledge the flag and the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Thank you all. Can we please have a moment of silence? Okay, thank you. Next is item 2, public comment. Madam President, I have received no public comment through email to this point. Do you have anyone physically in the chambers for public comment?
No.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. At this time, we'll ask for a motion to suspend the regular board meeting and go into closed session.
Motion to suspend the regular board meeting and go into closed session.
And that would be for security procedures, correct, Mr. Clerk?
I'm sorry, one more time, Attorney. Mr.
And that would be for security procedures, correct, Mr. Clerk?
In fact, I will read that exact section. Closed session. Section 2C8, 5 ILCS 120/2C8, security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, a threatened, or a reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property. Also B, possible action on items coming out of closed session. So I did have it properly motioned by Trustee Senior. Do we have a second?
I second.
Then properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. I'll take a roll call, Madam President, if that's okay with you.
That's Mr. Clerk.
Trustee Abraham. Absent. Trustee Chamalaki.
Yes.
Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. And Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And it carries 4-0 to go into executive session. So we are hereby suspending the regular board meeting at the special board meeting at 6:03 p.m. and going into closed session. We will be back momentarily. Jason, I might need to get those controls from you.
Transferred.
Thank you. I know.
You may need to assign yourself to the breakout room, Mr. Clark.
We are back in the original room. We're going to await everyone to appear, and then we'll get started. Okay, Madam President, I believe we have everyone back for the regular session. I should say the special meeting. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to reconvene the special board meeting.
I make a motion to reconvene our special board meeting.
Need a second.
I second. Sorry.
Been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Shelby to reconvene the special board meeting. I'll take a roll call at this time, Madam President. Trustee Abraham? Absent. Trustee Chamalave?
Here.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Senior?
Yes, I'm here.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Miller? Trustee Miller?
Here.
Okay, thank you. And Trustee Armour is absent. Madam President, we're all back. And let's see what we got here. Okay. You ready, Madam President? We'll continue to item 4, new business. All right, item 4, new business. An ordinance providing for the issue of not to exceed $1,070,000 general obligation limited tax bonds, Series 2022 of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, and for the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President, your floor.
Thank you. So last week we had a binding hearing to discuss the general obligation tax limit bonds for Series 2022. So we have Director Hood and Attorney Vasali on the line that can walk us through the process for the ordinance to be approved for this bond. So I don't know which one who want to go first, either Attorney Vasali or Director Hood.
Tom, do you want to go or you want me to go? So
You
Mayor,
can go ahead and outline the process.
Sure. So because we are a non-home rule unit, we have to go through the binding hearing, which is the Bond Issuers Notification Act hearing. That is the first part of this overall process. We discharged that satisfactorily at the last board meeting or at the last hearing for this. And then the corporate authorities did make a transfer, and this is an annual debt service issue, which Tom can get into when I'm done talking. They made a transfer from the water fund to discharge outstanding debt that happens every year and has happened for a number of years, which Tom can get into. And these bonds will be used to pay the cost of issuance and other outstanding expenses that is a rollover bond for at least 5 years that I can recall. This is a standard form issuance. It is Stifel doing the same transaction that have successfully worked with us before. And it is usually done through a private placement, which means that it doesn't go out to normal market. It goes out to a buyer of these bonds. So Tom, do you want to take it from there?
Sure. And since we have several newer board members, I'll just back up a little bit. This all comes about from a change that occurred back in the 70s, where the state changed the way which municipalities got money from the state, and then they figured out, oh my, we've cut them off from any money to do capital projects or pay their debt. So they allow municipalities to do these bond issuances each year. that are limited to debt service and capital projects. And what we have been able to do since, I believe it's 2003, is we use that ability to make this annual bond as an alternative revenue to do much bigger bond issuances. That way, by doing this annual bond, we can keep it from counting against our total general obligation debt. So each year we do this bond issue, and what it's doing is it's paying for the other outstanding bonds. What Jimmy was referring to this year, that we were a little late to getting it out, and we borrowed money from the water fund to make the payments. Now, when we do this bond, the money will go back into the water fund. Do you have any questions?
And so how is the bond paid? Like the one, like the $1,070,000? How is that, is that paid back or?
That is paid, each year that is levied, and that increases the amount of property taxes that the village gets each year, specifically for this reason.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Miller?
So I wasn't in the BINA hearing and I haven't reviewed any documents on it. So yeah, I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
I have no questions. I get it.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Ibrahim is absent. Trustee Chamalave? Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Abstain.
And Madam President, you know what? Let me just take your vote as well, Madam President.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. With the abstention, the vote is 5-0. It passes. Next is item B. An ordinance of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, granting a special use to Rainey Broadview LLC for the operation of a warehouse, truck terminal, and trailer storage facility on the property located at 1821 Gardner Road in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Chamalave. Madam President, your floor.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this project that went through the zoning for special use?
Yes, I can, Mayor. 1821 Gardner Avenue. It's approximately 8 acres of land. There was a building, 180,000 square foot building that sat on that parcel, which was constructed in 1966, I believe. From 2014 to 2018, the property became abandoned. It had graffiti on it. There was broken windows, and there was illegal dumping going on behind the actual building. In 2018, the building was set up for auction, and Rainey Investments purchased the property. At that point, from February to September of 2019, they began to explore what options and what type of investment they would put into that said parcel. One of the conversations that I had with them prior to purchasing the property was, were you going to renovate the building, or were you just going to demo the building? I was hoping that they were going to demo the building, and ultimately that's what they did. And through our conversations at our initial safety committee meeting back in 2019, the concept was to develop a Class A trailer park with a high-end security system. November 2019, the Rainy Development Company, they met with our safety committee meeting, and we went through the proper procedures in terms of talking about secure trailer parking facility. We thought it was a great idea. They had plans, security, noise barriers, and the conversation was what does the community need? What does the community want? And they were very respectful in terms of acknowledging that we were concerned not only about our community, but as well as our neighbors across the street, i.e. Westchester. Then obviously, at some point in 2020, COVID hit, and that kind of put everything on hold. But the benefit at that point was the building had been demolished, it was secure, and we could look for another plan. At this point, I'd like, I see Phil, counsel for Rainy Developments. I also see Seamus, and I see Ken Buckman, who are the owners, on the call. They can continue to move forward from that.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. So I don't know if Attorney Fenaro or Mr.
Phil?
Buckman or Mr. Kiley want to say anything about the project.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Hello, everyone. Glad to see everyone again. Thank you, David, for a good explanation of what happened before and where we're at now. We appreciate the process for sure. And, the safety committee was very helpful in terms of going through this. And then ultimately at the plan commission level, we had a good experience discussing the new project. So now that the project was complete in October of 2021, where they knocked down the building and demolished it, it became a problem, as it related to COVID in terms of moving forward. So that's why the project was delayed. But fortunately, because we were able to demolish it, it was less a burden on the municipality, going through that particular property. They knew that it was clean, that we did everything we needed to do for the county and the municipality. And as a result, we decided to explore other alternatives. So basically what's happening now in the market, during COVID and now after, is that e-commerce has become pretty significant in the area. And it's actually accelerated e-commerce by more than 10 years or some of the requirements. So more warehousing is needed. Broadview is situated in such a great location that it's ripe for this type of development, so that we can continue and try to Broadview do its small part of helping the supply chain, which is obviously having a very difficult time. So these types of buildings are popping up all over. Ken's vision and Seamus's vision to put this in this location. The market spoke, and as a result, we submitted the special use application and went through that process, which ultimately finalized on December 29th of 2021 with a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. If possible, I could just so I can show the applicable drawings and the site plan. Just I would be happy to do that if I could do that.
Yeah.
So here, generally, as everyone can see this.
Yes.
So the site plan calls for, and this property is challenged in that it does have, a flood zone. So as a result, it's been designed in the site plan review and so forth to provide compensatory storage on site, which is shown on the southern portion of the property here. So this will be sufficient to ensure that all detention and water is contained on the property. There will be trailer parking here if approved, and a cross dock situation where trucks can come generally in one direction from 290 going, getting off at the 25th. The beauty of this project is it does not have to burden the Gardner Road at all. It access through this particular lot, crossing York Street and accessing the docks this way, or the trailer parking this way, or obviously York Street accessing the docks this way for a cross dock situation. The only access onto Gardner will be for emergency vehicles, which was requested by your committee in order to ensure that if we need to access this road for whatever situation, your emergency vehicles will be able to do that. Other access will be coming through here from the 290 extension and into the property this way from Indian Joe. And as part of the process, your zoning and plan commission dictated that we would have only right turns out of this particular location. Thus, again, there's really nowhere to go here, and we don't want to go back to Gardner. It'll be a difficult radius turn anyway going this way. So the plan is to have this process go through a security gate. Everything will be electronic, so there'll be significant security, fully fenced and protected. The last piece that I have as it relates to the presentation, and I know you guys have drawings. We had provided these at prior committee meetings. Actually, in the 2019 version of this hasn't changed. Again, the village, the board, the committee like this concept for purposes of sound and visualization and landscaping. Obviously, this will go through your permitting process, and we believe it'll be a nice look and courteous to our neighbors to the west. So I can get into more into the special use, but I want to stop here, make sure there's no questions, and make sure my client doesn't have anything else to add, and obviously the board and your council.
At this point, Mayor, if I may, at the zoning board meeting that was held on December 29th, ultimately, they supported the project, but some of the concerns that we had is obviously we have our neighbors to the west. So one of the things that we talked about was lighting, which the owner said they would address with efficient lighting, reduced lumens and things of that nature. We talked about noise. What Phil showed was a sound barrier to absorb all the sound. And those are the same type of barriers that you see along the expressway that's right there. So it's the exact same thing. We talked about security. They're going to have cameras. They're going to have security 24/7, 365. We talked, not only that, we talked about the visualization. In other words, how was it going to look? And their comment was, what did the village want to see? We wanted something that was aesthetically pleasing to the eye, that did not look like it was out of place in our community and in that area, which is zoned for that type of business. And then lastly, we talked about landscaping. And so they committed to providing landscaping as well. During the zoning board hearing, we had more representatives from Westchester than we did from the village of Broadview. And they overall had positive things to say once the issue that the zoning board talked about was addressed. That concludes my comment, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Chamalade.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mayor?
Do you have any questions or concerns about this project?
The concern, when I think of a terminal, my concern is, a lot of semi trucks now in the village. But it seems like that's been part of the discussion, is the traffic flow. So that would be my only concern. And hopefully they keep the Broadview residents priority for employment. That's a comment. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Senior? You're on mute. You still on mute? He's just talking.
Can you take yourself off of mute, please? We can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Now we can hear you.
No, it seemed like they thought everything through thoroughly. It's gonna be nice, so no, I don't have any questions. He answered everything. Yeah.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes, will this be, you'll be able to access 24/7?
Hold on, Trustee Shelby. Can you mute can you just please mute so we can hear, because we're getting feedback?
Trustee Kamala.
Okay, Trustee Shelby, sorry about that.
Yes, so this terminal, you'll be 24/7. You'll be able to access it 24/7.
Yes, Seamus or Ken or Phil, could you explain to trustees and the mayor about the access, about having the key card, or in other words, how they were going to have access. It's not open to the public. There's a specific code or something that you're going to have to use to get in. Could one of you guys explain that to the trustees and the board, please?
Sure. Ken, Seamus, would you like me to approach it, or would you like to?
Yeah, you can jump in there, Phil. I'll
Very
jump
good.
in if
You know it, Phil.
Got
Yep.
it. Got it. Yeah. So all security will be, now with the phones and the apps and being able to access the security so that they'll know everybody that comes in and out of that site. And then obviously, when they come in and they have to exit, then they'll know when they exit. So then they'll be documented as David said, Mr. Upshaw said, is that it's definitely going to be highly secure, with the fence, with the wall, with the cameras, with the lighting. So yes, and to answer the question, yes, it'll be 24/7, but the traffic will be more predictable in terms of time that it comes in and out. The most important thing you understand is that this traffic is now I represent probably about 25 trucking clients, and none of them have any of their trailers on the site. They're all out working. So when they come in and out of the terminal here, their goal is to get out as quickly as possible. And it'll be different times of the day, but it will be 24/7 because, that's how the supply chain is working presently.
Okay, and the trailer storage it's for various companies, right?
Correct. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, go on.
Yeah. So it depends. The end use, the final determining factor as we construct this is whether or not it'll be a single user or a multiple user. There's a lot of single users out there that find this desirable to lease or so forth. And it would be trailers that would sit. Maybe someone's going across country. They want to take a break, go to a hotel, have something to eat, and then go back the next day. That would be sort of for that purpose too. There will be trailers out there for other reasons, but again, the goal of most of the logistics and warehousing and transportation is to get those trucks, and trailers out as soon as possible.
Okay, and how long is your time as far as building this and the landscaping? What is the time frame on all of that?
Got it. So before I'll have Ken speak to that, before I just wanted to answer the other question too that related to that is that yes, absolutely. The local owned businesses and contractors will be approached, and at some point I know the village is actively pursuing job fairs, et cetera, which would be participated in, and there's such a need for jobs, and people that are local are better able to come and do that. So that's definitely in the thoughts and plans. And Ken, if you want to talk about construction schedule.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here. We've invested a lot in short, Trustee Shelby. We've invested a lot of time, effort, and money up till now, and we want to get this process done as fast as possible. With the market changing, we were headed towards it strictly being a parking lot before. The market switched during COVID, and in order for us to move forward with a partner, because we need to find a partner, which will be an owner operator, to finish the development on this, because it's going to need another $5, $6, $7 million worth of work to be completed here. We couldn't move forward, and we certainly didn't want to assume that we would get through this zoning process successfully until now. So we have kind of put the brakes on everything temporarily until we get this approval. And once we get this approval, we're confident that the process should go rather quickly to identify and negotiate with a final partner. And absolutely, we're going to build as fast as possible. Now, that being said, I'm sure you've all heard the supply chain issues for steel, for concrete, for labor, et cetera. So we are going to be somewhat at the whim of the market. But just know, every minute that I'm here on camera, instead of having a building up there, I'm continuing to lose money. So we are absolutely interested in finishing this as fast as possible. I hope that answered your question.
It does. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
I'm always interested to hear how people attempt to kind of subscribe to the supply chain process. One of the things so I'm in trucking and I'm in transportation, and the issue isn't so much that we don't have trucks available, we don't have drivers available, we don't have a way to get the things that we need for the supply chain, for the Targets and the Walmarts of the world off the barges. So having more land for trucks to park doesn't really solve the supply chain issues. It's the fact that we don't have drivers that want to drive. We don't have operators that are willing to operate under the current COVID. Hopefully now we'll be under different restrictions or mandates, but they don't want to operate under certain restrictions right now. So it's best for them in their mind to just sit back and sit still. I saw the information, I think, when this first came about us having, truck parking and transportation. And now it seems like that has kind of transitioned a little bit. I haven't reviewed any of the new documents because unfortunately, when this information came out over the weekend, I was in Vegas enjoying my regular life. So I haven't looked at any of the new changes or the transitions. So I can't readily say that I'm in support of it because I don't know the changes that have changed over since this originally came to us with the plan that it was just going to be for truck parking and not just a full 24/7 kind of operation for warehousing and other things that go of that nature with the supply chain. I'm glad to see that there is still an interest in bringing such a big network to Broadview, and that there is passion there, and multi-million-dollar projects do look good on our books as well for us, so that we'll know. But thank you for bringing it to us. I just have to finish looking at the documents.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. So I'm gonna just say this. I know we talked about this probably in 2019, 2020, right before the pandemic. You guys did a presentation before the board. I'm very supportive of this project. Talking to our neighboring community, Westchester, I think some of them participated in the zoning meeting because I got some feedback from the now new mayor, Mayor Steger. He had, mentioned the project to me at the village board meeting. So the feedback that they're getting from Westchester was the concern of, the wall, was it going to be visible? And when we had the initial conversation, that was our concern of our neighbors. We don't want to live across the street from a truck yard and it's visible. So we like that, that addition to, make it more still community, but they know that they're in the industrial area. So the conversation made me feel really good that Westchester was on board with with us moving forward with the project, because we always want to consider, even though they don't make the decisions here, but we want to be neighborly. You love for yourself what you love for your neighbors. And so I support the project 100% because I think it's good for us. And like Trustee Miller said, it's probably not so much as the trucking moving, it's so much as the drivers not being able because of the COVID restrictions and stuff. So the workforce has probably slowed down a lot as it relates to how we look at transportation on top of a lot of other mechanisms that take place. Most certainly I've done supply chain in my former past, and logistics is part of it, but she's absolutely right. It's the workforce that we don't have the drivers that can move the product around properly, but we seeing a shift changing where that's getting ready to change, hopefully. The numbers are going down and, people get back to some type of normalcy. But I support the project. I'm happy that you guys consider Broadview, and I'm looking at the, the layout of everything and talking to my colleagues in Westchester. I know that they would support it as well if it was the village of Westchester. So with that being said, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. This is the roll call for the approval. Trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chalmalabi?
Yes.
Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Abstain.
And Mayor, again, this is approved 4-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, board.
Welcome to Broadview.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're excited.
Stay excited.
All right. Thank you all. Next is item 5.
Thank you, everyone.
For the authority to expend funds totaling $24,713 for door systems.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Miller. Madam President.
Thank you. So this purchase order is based off the conversation we had in closed session. I don't know if anybody have any questions as it relates to it, but it's straightforward on what we need to do. Trustee Miller?
No concern, no question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Malave? Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Trustee Senior, just got dark in the chamber. Trustee Senior?
No questions. No questions.
All right, did I get trustee Malave?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. 1 second. All right, trustee Abraham is absent. Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior,
Yes.
trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller,
Yes.
and Madam President, this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, item 6, village clerk report. I have no report, Madam President. Next is item 7, village president, Mayor Katrina Thompson's report.
Thank you. I don't have a report, but just a few reminders. Tomorrow is vaccination from 11 to 1 at the fire department. And then on Saturday, we have our community breakfast at the Broadview Family Restaurant. And I hope everyone come out and participate and hang out with us on Saturday for a little while. And then we have our Black History program that will be starting via Zoom at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So with that being said, thank you, trustees, for you taking some time out of your day to handle this special board meeting. And we'll hopefully see you guys over the weekend. Have a good week.
Can I say something real quick? I went to the breakfast last Saturday.
Oh, did you?
I was there all alone. The wrong date.
Well, we'll make sure that you get the reminder of the right date and time. So we hope you come back on Saturday, trustee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
With that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I second.
The properly motion by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Shelby to adjourn tonight's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, I have ayes from trustee Senior, trustee Shelby, trustee Miller, and trustee Chamalave, with trustee Abraham and trustee Armour being absent.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.